Dmitro Belatov, who organized car protests for the opposition, is being treated in hospital after being found on the outskirts of the capital Kiev. Police have confirmed Mr. Belatov received an ear injury and bruising. At least 2 other activists have been abducted since street protests escalated into violence this month. Demonstrators accuse the security forces of being behind the abductions. President Viktor Yanukovych accused the opposition of seeking to inflame the situation on Thursday by continuing the protest despite moves by the government and parliament to ease the standoff. Parliament voted to annul a recently enacted law restricting protests and passed a law giving amnesty to detained protesters, under the condition that occupied buildings were vacated. Anti-government demonstrators remain in their camp in Independence Square, Maidan, with no sign of the political crisis in the country coming to an end, the BBC's Duncan Crawford reports from Kiev. Mr. Yanukovych, 63, has gone on sick leave, with his staff reporting he has a respiratory illness and a high fever. Crucified, Mr. Belatov says he was left to die by his captors after being kidnapped, repeatedly beaten and crucified. He was, he said, hung up by his wrists. They crucified me, so there are holes in my hands now, he said. Other than that, they cut off my ear, cut up my face. My whole body is a mess. You can see everything. I am alive. Thank God for this. The activist reportedly said he did not know who had abducted him, but his abductors had spoken with Russian accents. According to the Ukrainian news website Gazeta.ua, doctors found no damage to his internal organs or his skull. Police in Kiev have confirmed Mr. Belatov was bruised and received a cut to one of his ears, Ukrainian newspaper Ukrainskaya Pravda reports. They have opened an investigation and posted guards at the hospital where he is being treated. According to the paper, they also expressed indignation that Mr. Belatov had not phoned them after his release. Mr. Belatov is a prominent anti-government activist as leader of the organization Maidan, a group that has patrolled streets around Independence Square, our correspondent says. It has also driven in convoys to protest outside government ministers' homes. Vitaly Klitschko, one of the most prominent leaders of the protesters, visited Mr. Belatov in hospital. Offers rejected. Of the other 2 activists abducted this month, one was found dead in a forest near Kiev with his body reportedly showing signs of torture. The activist, Yuri Verbitsky, was reportedly abducted along with fellow protester Igor Lutsenko, who was later released and spoke about his ordeal. At least 2 other protesters and 3 police officers have died violent deaths since 22 January. Protests began in November after President Yanukovych reversed a decision to sign a trade deal with the European Union, instead favoring a bailout deal with Russia to underpin Ukraine's ailing economy. Anti-government protesters demanding the president's resignation have been occupying government buildings and manning barricades in freezing temperatures in the center of the capital. The past week has seen President Yanukovych accept the resignation of Prime Minister Mykola Azarov and his cabinet and offer senior jobs to the opposition, offers that were rejected.